All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Just all praises to the one called God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem, meaning in the name of Yahushai, be the name of the only begotten Son. Also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect preaching word and truth and sincerity on the brother Tazabah in the Great Millstone, Arizona camp. Lord will with another video to edify. And I wanted to go into this video and one other article. And what you're seeing now is that these smaller nations, these weaker nations, are starting to feel the burn and the sting from trusting Esau and his system, playing by his rules. Because while Esau, an American dollar, and respect to his allies, his dollar is strong, but everybody else's currencies are being devalued, and they're being hit with harder and harder times. While the hard times are coming to America, they're extremely slow compared to what's happening to the others, all these other countries that have been in bed with Esau. So I'm gonna play this video and get one other one. The Lord wanted this to be edifying.
They would be set. Have you noticed also in the Netherlands? What's happening up in the Netherlands? Have you seen? The Netherlands are being forced to go green as well. The Netherlands, of course, are part of this great reset. And there's Dutch farmers. These Dutch farmers, they don't like this Green New Deal. They oppose these pollution cuts. My goodness. They just won't play along. Well, they'll get it eventually. So now the farmers in the Netherlands, the Dutch farmers, have you ever heard of anyone in the Netherlands ever getting upset at anything? They're now taking their tractors in, and they're bringing their tractors in, and they're blocking trucks. They're burning hay on the streets. They've taken crap from animals and poured it on the steps of the Capitol. This is because they can't use the fertilizer that they've been using. That nitrogen oxide and ammonia. Oh man, we can't use that because that's not natural. That's ammonia, nitrogen. No, it's not natural. We can't do that. They say it's going to close down their farms. It will shut down their farming ability. It will cause mass starvation, they say. So we could either listen to the experts, or we could listen to the people who actually grow the food and have been growing our food forever. You're right. We should probably listen to the experts. This is happening. Look for civil unrest. Look for inflation unrest. You will see this happening all over the world. This goes to something I told you in 2009 would happen. They're all going to blame the United States. In the end, they will blame the United States. And
that's the scriptures, man. This is Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, going into the philosophy, right? So that wine is talking about philosophies. And wine is talking about what? Not only the philosophies, but the way they are. So they've drinking of that wine. They've gotten drunk and enamored with everything that Babylon had to offer. It says, the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And that's what's happening, man. The nations have gotten the shit in the stick, and now they're pissed off. The people are revolting. Sri Lanka, they had the leader of Sri Lanka fleeing. The nigga was running onto a ship to get out of Sri Lanka, man, because the protests that were happening in the street. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. But she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Right? Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted unto the even to the skies. And Esau's tried to use Jake, because really, when you think about it, man, Jake, the amount of greatness that comes out of Israel can easily heal a country, right? Easily heal a country. You get Jake, all these performers and everything like that, the Jake scientists, right? It would have been nothing for the Lord to just have Israel get up and make all these new movements and all this economic wealth through entertainment and philosophy and inventions, but the Lord isn't doing that. This place isn't going to be healed. The Lord doesn't want to heal America. It's through, right? This is Revelation 18 and 3. For all the nations have drunken of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. Right? Going into economic policies, this build back better, this going green. This is Esau's plan to sit here and really dwindle out the masses. Right? Go back to the Georgia Guidestones. You can't even go into that anymore. Pretty soon, they'll probably start taking off the pictures of that off the internet. Right? Go into that. The whole Depop agenda that these devils have. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And all these nations have been able to be wealthy through what? The league that they've had with Esau. Right? This is what's been going on. And now what? The milk's gone bad. Right? Milk's gone bad, and all these nations are getting roused up. The people are getting roused up. Right? Now, I wanted to get a little article, because it says it in this video, he touches on it a bit, and I had to look it up, and it's bad, bro. Bad, man. So, apparently what's been going on with this whole oil is Saudi Arabia hasn't been an endless amount of oil. They've been sitting here buying oil from Egypt, and Egypt buys the oil from Russia. So, right, so Saudi Arabia has just really been reselling oil from Russia to the States and trading it in US dollars. So they were sitting there doing these back end deals, and these in America didn't know. Right? Apparently Esau wasn't keeping track of it, which, I think that's a lie, but this is what's been happening. So as Egypt now emerges as major supplier of fuel oil to Saudi Arabia, right? When you think about Saudi Arabia, they're the chief ones that oil was coming out of, right? It says, first Estonia, now Egypt, the countries emerging as surprisingly large supplier of fuel oil to Saudi Arabia gets longer. This month, the kingdom will take 3.2 million barrels of the power station fuel from the northeast African country. Right? And going into that's whatchamacallit, a Russian ally. It says the highest in at least 6 years, according to Vortex Ltd. Data. It says data compiled by Bloomberg. For its part, Egypt's own imports of the product from Russia are set to soar to 1.8 million barrels, the most since at least 2016. The sudden surge in Egyptian inflows and outflows bears the hallmarks of at least some Russian origin fuel going to Saudi Arabia. It follows a similar hike in deliveries to the world's largest crude exporter from Estonia, a nation that has no oil refinery. It says it appears that the increasing volume of Russian fuel oil are making their way to Saudi Arabia via Egypt. Right? And so Saudi Arabia has been selling all this oil. America's been thinking they're the ones producing it. And now it's coming out that a lot of that oil was coming from Egypt by way of means of Russia. And Saudi Arabia was just flipping it making a nice price tag on it. Get it cheap from Egypt, resell it, bag it up, put a new name on it. This is Blue Magic, right? It says said Jonathan Leach. It says an oil market analyst at Turner Mason and Co. The Russian cargoes are heading to the Egyptian Red Sea terminal in Ain Shukna, where Aramco trading company has storage. From there, the fuel is being shipped across the sea to multiple ports in western Saudi Arabia. The Saudi Arabia's energy minister referred questions on the flows of Aramco trading were declined to comment. Officials at the Egyptian General Petroleum Corporation didn't respond to requests to comment. Overall deliveries to the Kingdom of the power generation and shipping fuel are expected to climb to about 9 million barrels in June, the highest since November 2020, according to industry and Vortexa data compiled by Bloomberg. That means Egypt accounts for more than a third of them. You see? It says demand for fuel soars in Middle East summer as some of the hottest weather on earth lifts power generation for air conditioning. Saudi Arabia imports gained by 86% month on month in June, making it the third biggest buyer of fuel oil this month behind Singapore and the U.S. Right? And where does the U.S. get their oil from? Saudi Arabia. So in the long range of it, when you look at it, they're paying Saudi Arabia. Russia's getting their money from the U.S. no matter what. So Esau's thoroughly screwed, right? No matter how you think about it. And this is why you go to the book of Obadiah. Is it Obadiah? No, might not be. Yeah, Obadiah 1:7. I knew it was right. Obadiah 1:7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy, right? And Saudi Arabia is part of that confederacy. Esau was giving them cheap military equipment, right? And making big money deals with them over the oil. And come to find out, they've been flipping oil from Russia, their enemy. So Russia's been getting paid, right? Esau's enemies have been getting paid. And he's been paying an exorbitant rate on something that should have been cheaper. All the men of that confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. You see? Those that ate Esau's bread have laid a wound. A snare has been laid. Right? This is Job 18, and I started 4. It says, he teareth himself in his anger. Shall the earth be forsaken for thee? Shall the rock be moved out of his place? Yeah, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. Right? The steps of his strength shall be straightened. What was his strength? That petrodollar, right? The world reserve currency. It's military supremacy, right? But his strength is being straightened, meaning is dwindling. It's being hard to sit here and be strong like he was before. It says, "In his own counsel shall cast him down." All those sanctions. Right? You throwing them sanctions on Russia. You're finding out a lot of these things that America needs. Russia's the supplier. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. The gin shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. And that's what you're seeing, man. A trap and a snare is taking hold of Esau. This is big news, man. This is big news. And now nobody wants to comment, right? Saudi Arabia sitting there. I don't got anything to say to you. Egypt's like, hey, man, I'm just flipping my bread, and Russia's just laughing in the background, man. This is beautiful, man. This is stuff that's coming out. Esau is in a trap, and a whole world is angry with this devil. All right, let me get that. I'll finish it on there. This is Revelation 11 and 18. It says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroyed the earth." You see? And that's what the Lord's getting ready to do. He's getting ready to destroy them that destroyed the earth. All these nations are pissed off. They see that it didn't do them no good, and now what? They're revolting. The people are revolting. It's beautiful. So it's something to keep an eye on. I can't wait to see the comments that are going to come off a lot of this information that's coming up about, especially with this whole backdoor dealing with this Russian oil through Egypt and Saudi Arabia. Shalom.